So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So, first thing, my name is Sandeep. I am working with a well reputed organization in NgModel Phase 2 as a senior technical architect. So, I am having near about 14, 15 plus years of experience in web technologies. So, previously, I also worked in Classic SP, then Visual Basic 6.0, then .NET Core. Then, from last 5 years, I am working with the front end technologies only. So in these front-end technologies, like I work with Angular, then React, then MongoDB, Express.js, then Node.js, Knockout.js. So basically, from last 5 years, I am working with the front-end technologies like React, Knockout, Node, and I work with the Angular different versions as a UI architect. So I am having near about 15 plus years of experience, and our whole experience is in web technologies. Previously, I worked as a full stack developer in .NET, then SQL Server, MySQL, and from last 5 years, I'm working with as a UI developer or UI architect. So current designation is senior technical architect, and actually working with different technologies like Min Stack and merge stack. Min means MongoDB, Express.js, then AngularJS and Node.js, whereas merge stack means MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. So basically, I'm from last 5 years, I'm working with the front-end technologies only. Okay, yeah, so we will get started. Yeah,
Okay.
so here, if you talk with any web technologies or any front-end technologies or back-end technologies. Back-end technologies are nothing but the Java, then Java, .NET, then so these are the back-end technologies. And when we talk about the front-end technologies like Angular, React, then Node.js, then Vue.js. So basically, these are used for the front-end technology. That means you can design your application's UI, and basically this with the help of this React or Angular, so you can load your applications very fastly in the browsers. So basically, in previous days, in 5 to 6 years back, so we are de- just designing the applications in .NET or Java, and we are deploying these softwares into the servers, and we are loading the all the data from that application itself. But from last 5 to 6 years, so there are so many different live JavaScript libraries or frameworks are available for front-end development. So what is the front end? Front end is nothing but you can see the UI in your of your application into the browser. And what is the backend? So backend is nothing but so you can design and develop your REST APIs or APIs to connect to the database from client to server communications. So so when we are sending any request, okay, so in any application, so suppose when we are sending any request to the browser or to the server, so it will make this call from that browser itself. So from client to server communication and from server to client communication. So this is a two-way communication when we are sending the request to the server and server is returning the response to that particular request. So this is the client server architecture, right? So when we are sending any request, so it will connect to the database. From database, it will fetch some data and it will return to the client. Client is nothing but the your desktop application or your web applications from browser. Okay, so from last 5 to 6 years, so these different frameworks or libraries are available for front-end technologies. So with the help of these front-end technologies, we can render your applications into the browser very fastly. So to reduce the rendering time, nowadays we are using the different JavaScript frameworks. Okay, so JavaScript, so Angular, React, Vue, Node. So these are the JavaScript frameworks. And you know that the JavaScript is known as the client-side scripting language. Okay, so if you have to connect to the server with the JavaScript framework, then we can use the Node.js. right? But yeah, from client side, we can use Angular, React, and Vue.js. So these three frameworks or libraries are very popular nowadays. Okay, so for each and every framework has some pros and cons. So as I said, so if you see all the JavaScript frameworks, there are near about 48 frameworks are available for JavaScript. How many? 48. But from these 48, nowadays, Angular, React, or Vue.js, so these three frameworks are popular for developing the client-side applications. So nowadays, when we are designing and developing the applications, so front end is different and back end is different. So front Angular or React is can be used for front end development, and for back end development, Java or .NET can be used, or Node.js can be used for back end development or back end writing the APIs to fetch the data from the server. So, but from 7 to 8 years back, we are designing and developing the applications in the .NET and Java only. So these are the client side or client server architecture languages which are available for rendering the application into the browsers. But now we can design and develop the applications in Angular or React or Vue.js for. So all these frameworks or libraries can be used for the increasing the performance of your Angular application or of your web application, we can say. Now, when we enter any URL into the browser, so we are expecting that should be rendered in fraction of seconds, or we can say in the milliseconds into the browser. So that this is the requirement of our users, or we can say the clients. So we cannot wait till 1 minute or 60 seconds or 30 seconds to load the application into the browser, right? So for this purpose, to enhance the performance of your web applications, we can use Angular, React, or Vue.js, these frameworks or libraries for your web applications. Now, as I said, among 48 frameworks or libraries, why Angular is popular nowadays? Okay, so as I said, there are some pros and cons for each and every framework or library. So I am talking Angular as a framework. So why it is a framework? Why React.js is a JavaScript library? Why Vue.js is a library? Why jQuery is a library? So basically these are used from the JavaScript, but in Angular gives you the extra framework to design and develop your applications. So that's why Angular is a framework, whereas React.js or Vue.js are the JavaScript libraries. Okay, so all the things when we are designing and developing the application in different JavaScript libraries, so you should know at least basic knowledge of JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript object-based language, and nowadays, so React and Vue.js, it is a purely a JavaScript library. So you have to write the code in JavaScript only. But in Angular, so in Angular, we can use the TypeScript. So TypeScript is nothing but it is a superset of JavaScript. So what is a superset? So superset is nothing but, so just like other languages, TypeScript is object oriented JavaScript, OOJS. So when we are talking about the plain JavaScript, it is an object based language, whereas TypeScript is an object oriented language. That means we can create the inheritance, polymorphism, then all the concepts of object oriented we can achieve in the TypeScript. That's why it is a superset of JavaScript. Okay, so as I said, so for each and every application or each and every front end development, you should know the basic concepts of JavaScript. Okay, so there are so many features in Angular. So we will see in details. So detailed documentation. So you can find all the detailed documentations in angular.io website. So angular.io is an official website for Angular. Okay. Then it is supported by Google. So when we talk about the React, so it is supported by the Facebook, but in Angular, so it is supported by the Google. Then third one is a great ecosystem of third-party components. So we can easily use the any third-party components or libraries in your Angular applications. So for suppose I have to show some what we can say, so charts, pie chart, bar chart, lines. So suppose I want to show or create my app in my application, I want to show the some charts. So there is a d3.js. If you googled it, d3.js, d3.js. So this is third party component, so third party library. So we can easily inject that third party libraries in your Angular applications, and we can use the chart from that particular library. So great ecosystem of third-party components. So the popularity of Angular has resulted in the appearance of thousands of additional tools and components that can be used in Angular apps. Okay, so any third party, we can use the jQuery as well. We can use the D3.js. We can use Angular material. Then so different JS or different component, third-party components, we can easily use in your Angular application. Yeah, fourth one and important one is Angular is a component-based architecture. So what is a component? Okay, suppose I want to design the login component or login page, we can say. Suppose in my Angular applications, I want to design one login page. There are two text boxes. One is for username and second one is for password, and there is one button that is a submit or login. So I want to design this page. So how we can design this page in Angular? Okay, so as I said, Angular is a component based architecture. So I have to create the component for the login. So with this framework, Angular framework, we can create the different components. Components are nothing but the pages of your Angular of your web application. Okay, so I want to design login page in my applications, then I will create one component. So with the help of ng space, g space, c space, then component name. So these are the different commands we will see in details when we actually start the course. Okay, so we can create one component there like that. So just like as a login. So when we are creating a login component with the help of command, so it will create 4 different files. Suppose I'm creating login component, then login.component.ts, login.component.html, login.component.spec.ts, and login.component.css or SCSS. So when we are creating any component, so it will create these 4 different files. So each and every file has a different meaning. Suppose I have created login.component.ts. So what is a TS? TS is nothing but the TypeScript. So all the JavaScript files will be saved as a JS, but in Angular it is saved as a TS. So TS is nothing but the TypeScript.ts. So all the business logic of your page or component is available in the .ts file. So login.component.ts. So you can write the business logic of your application. Then .html, login.component.html. So in this HTML, we can design and we can create the two buttons, sorry, two text boxes and one button over here, .html file. Then .css or SCSS. Okay, login.component.css or SCSS. So we can add the inline CSS properties to that particular component. So for this button, I have to show this border, then padding, then all the CSS properties we can add in the CSS file, or the classes and we can add in the CSS or CSS file. And last one is a .spec.ts, login.component.spec.ts. So it is an important file. So in Angular, we can write the unit test cases of your application. What is a unit test cases? Okay, suppose I want to write some unit test cases. So it is an advanced feature in Angular. So we can write the unit test cases for your application. Suppose I am adding username and password and one button. So I have to check whether these two text boxes are present or not. Suppose I am adding specific format, username and password, I have to check. So all these, suppose I have to check whether that submit button is available or not. So all these can be written or write in that spec.ts. So just like as writing the testing unit test cases, we can use this spec.ts. So this is an advanced feature available in Angular. So all combining all these four files, it will create one component. So there is no any restrictions to create the number of components. So in your application, there can be a number of components in your file as per your requirement. Okay. So till now, any question? Okay. So we'll see the next feature. So ahead of time compilation or AOT compilation. So if you so in Java or .NET, so these are the just-in-time compilers. What is a JIT compilers? That means just-in-time compilers, right? So these are the JIT compiler, whereas Angular is a ahead of time compilation. So what is the difference between JIT and AOT compiler? Okay, so just-in-time compilers are nothing but when we are compiling the applications, okay, and when we are deploying the application into the server, then this is nothing but the just-in-time compilation. So all the errors will be thrown at the runtime in just-in-time compiler. Suppose in your application there are some errors or bugs, but all these fields recorded when the runtime. So suppose when I am sending any request to the server, and when I am sending this request to the server, then it will compile the request, and then if there is any errors, then it will throw. But in ahead of time compilations, all the errors and all the will be thrown at compile time only. Okay, so Angular supports the ahead of time compilation. That means when we are deploying your application into the server, so it is a pre-compiled code which is available into the server. Okay, so just like if you know the store procedure in database. So what are the store procedures? So store procedures are nothing but it is a pre-compiled SQL statements which are available into the server. So when I'm sending any request or when I'm fetching any data from that store procedures, that compile time will be reduced and it will send the response quickly to the client. So same like that, Angular is a ahead of time compilations means when we are compiling the applications, it is a pre-compiled code can be deployed to the server. So for each and every request, the compilation time will be reduced and it will render the applications very fastly. That's why Angular supports the ahead of time compilations. Okay. So all the code will be pre-compiled. That means the compilation time will be reduced and it will use the output very quickly. That's why Angular is a ahead of time compiler. Then CLI. CLI is nothing but the command line interface. Okay. So command line interface. So Angular provides you the command line interface for designing and developing the Angular applications. Then Angular elements. So in Angular 6, from Angular 6, developers can easily add custom elements to any web app built in with React, jQuery, Vue, or any environment. Okay. So as I said, in Angular, okay, so Angular JS and Angular is a different. Okay, so what is Angular JS and what is Angular? So okay, so in 2010 there is a Angular JS, and from 2016 it is a Angular or Angular 2 plus. Normally we are calling a Angular 2 plus as a Angular only. So Angular 2, then 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and right now it is a 14. So every 6 months they are providing the new version for the Angular. So what is the difference between this Angular JS and Angular? So Angular JS is a MVC pattern, that is a model, viewer, and controller. But Angular 2 or Angular 2 plus is a MVVM, that is model, view model. Model means .ts file, view means .html file. When model changes, view will change, and when view changes, model will also change. It is a two-way binding available in Angular 2 plus. But in Angular JS, it is a MVC structure: model, viewer, and controller. Okay, so this is rewritten from Angular 2010. It is Angular JS was there, but from Angular from 2016 it is a Angular 2 or Angular 2 plus, we can say, and right now it is Angular 14. Beta version is 14 and Angular 13 is a stable version available in the market. But then you will say Angular 2 is there, then 4 is there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. So every 6 months they are providing the new version, but the base is Angular 2. So basic, or we can say the base is Angular 2, and they are reducing or removing the errors or bugs and releasing the new features or in each and every version. Okay, so basically we will start with Angular 2 and ends with Angular 13. Then IV renderer. What is the IV renderer? So Angular 2 or Angular 4, 5 till Angular 4, 5. Okay, so when we are compiling the Angular applications, for compilation of these Angular applications, the transpilers are used. What are the transpilers? So transpilers are nothing but, what is a compiler and what is a transpiler? So compiler compiles the same language code into the same language. But what are the transpilers? So transpilers will transfer one language code to the another. So when we are in Angular 2 to Angular 5, we are using the Angular is using the transpilers. So all the TypeScript code is converted into the JavaScript code. Why? Because browsers doesn't know the TypeScript. Browser knows only the JavaScript. So all the TypeScript code is converted into JavaScript with the help of transpilers. So it will be happen in till Angular 5. But from Angular 6, the IV renderer is there. So it is another great feature that become available with Angular 6. IV renderer translates and apps components and templates into native JavaScript code that can be displayed by the browser. So as I said, browser doesn't know the TypeScript. Browser knows only the JavaScript. So the TypeScript to JavaScript, it can be converted with the help of transpilers in Angular 2, Angular 4, and Angular 5. Okay. So these, so with the help of these Angular IV render from Angular 6, there is a Ivory renderer is available from Angular 6. Okay. Then next, Angular material. So for making your Angular applications or web applications look and feel, to increase the look and feel of your applications, we can use the inbuilt Angular material. So if you have to put the component, so if you have to push text box, the radio button, then combo box, we can use the Angular material. So with the help of this Angular material, we can design your applications very TDD or very cleanly, we can say. The look and feel of your application.
Hello. I have
Yes,
one.
yeah,
Yeah. These are we are looking at. Uh, just a second.
yeah.
Can we just check what will be the syllabus you are covering in this course, and at the end of course, what I
Yes,
we can do?
yes, yes, yes. Yes, I'm coming to that point. I'm just giving you the just what are
Yeah,
available.
because these are benefits of AngularJS, right?
Correct,
We'll be
correct.
covering these after starting the course,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
as of now, just I want to know that what will be the syllabus we are going to cover in this course, and at end of the course, what I'll be getting after
Yes,
this.
yes, 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 yes. So actually, I'm coming to that point. I'm just
Okay,
giving
okay,
you the brief introduction. What is Angular or why it is important?
okay,
So just
okay, okay,
I'm giving the advantages of Angular over the
okay, okay,
other frameworks or libraries available in the market. Okay.
okay,
So
okay,
I'm
okay,
coming to that point as well. Don't worry.
okay, okay. No issue. Thanks.
Yeah. So then simpler depend with the help of simpler dependency injections. So dependency injection is nothing but suppose I want to pass the data from one component, one page to another page. We can use the services. With the help of services, we can inject that service in any component. We can send the data from client to server. Suppose I want to send some data from client to server. That means suppose I want to send some data, username and password to the server. So how we can find send? Either we can use the HTTP request, or you can use the GET request, or we can use store this information in local storage, then share session storage, and then it will can be sent. But with the help of dependency injections, also we can pass the data from one component to another component. Okay. Then Angular Universal. So for server side scripting or server side rendering from in Angular 6, from Angular 6, we can use the Angular Universal as well. So then TypeScript. So TypeScript, as I said, TypeScript for writing the applications, we will use the TypeScript. So TypeScript is nothing but the superset of JavaScript, and which supports all the object-oriented language concepts. So we can create the class, we can create the interfaces, we can inheritance, polymorphism. So all these OOPS concepts we can achieve in the TypeScript, but it is not achievable in the JavaScript. Okay, so it is JavaScript is object-based, whereas TypeScript is object-oriented. Then reusability of components. So with the help of we can create the reusable components, and you can use these components in, suppose I want to add one chart, or suppose I want to use that custom component for the drop down, then we can use the custom components, or we can create the reusable components. These can be used in different web pages or different components. Then simplified unit testing. So as I said, spec.ts file can be used for writing the unit test cases of your application. Then improve readability, ease of maintenance, develop across all the platforms, so it can be deployed over Windows, Linux, so anywhere we can deploy these Angular applications. And important one is the speed and performance with lazy loading. So as I said, Angular or any framework, JavaScript framework can be used for performance optimization. So how Angular increase the performance of your application? Suppose in my Angular applications having near about 200 web pages or 2000 web pages or 2000 components. So instead of loading all the 2000 component at the same time, we can render the required web page or required components at a time. And when user clicks on the different links, then and then only that respective components will be loaded. This can be used or this can be achieved by the lazy loading concept. Okay, so in .NET or Java, suppose in my application, suppose there are near about 2,000 pages. So all the 2,000 pages will be compiled at same time. And that's why it is taking too much time to render the application into the browser. To overcome this issue in Angular, we can use the lazy loading concept. So these are some differences: Angular, React, Vue. So as I said, Angular is a framework, React and Vue is a library. So advantages and disadvantages. The two-way data binding in Angular is very useful in interactions. So when model is changed, the view will also change, and when view is changed, the model will also change. So this is a two-way data binding. Then directives, so code in, then server-side services with the help of dependency injection interfaces. We can use the
Your
TypeScript.
voice,
Hello.
your voice is breaking.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
is it
go ahead.
is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are, as I said, there are some advantages and disadvantages for each and every libraries or frameworks. So for disadvantages, we can say, so there are 8 different lifecycle hooks for Angular. So then, so for each and when we are loading the web page, so these page can be gone through the different phases. Just like that, Angular has also the 8 different lifecycle hooks are available. For a first glance, it is a little bit difficult to understand all this, how this is performing, how this how this can be used in your applications. So we will see in detail. Now, what topics or what syllabus will be covered in this course? So in very first session, discussion about Angular and main stack, then environmental setup. So required software, so we will set up in your machine. Then we will create the first Angular project. So how we can create, I will give the idea on how we can create the Angular projects with the different commands, then discussion of each and every Angular file. So when we create any Angular project, so it will create near about 160 to 170 files. So we will discuss what is the use of these different files in your in detail in the first session. Then we will cover the different binding techniques. So binding techniques means, so suppose I want to send some data from model to viewer, that means .ts to .html. There are different binding techniques are available. Then first one is interpolation binding, one-way binding, two-way binding, event binding, style binding, class binding, and attribute binding. So we will cover all these binding techniques in detail. Then we will cover the directives. So what are the directives? There are 3 types of directive. First one is the attribute directive. It is again divided into ng class and ng style. So suppose I want to show the particular div on a particular condition, or I want to change the forecolor of that particular header, then we can use these attribute directives. And then structural directives, ngIf, ngFor, and ngSwitch. And we can create the custom directives for your application. So attribute directives, with the help of attribute directives, we can just change the behavior of your elements, and with the help of structural directives, we can add or remove the elements in your application. Suppose there are 2 divs and I want to show this div on a specific condition, then we can use the ngIf. Then I want to suppose I want to populate the data in a table format, then we can use the ngFor. And just like other languages, if, then, else, ngFor, and switch case, just like other languages, we can use these structural directives in Angular as well. Also, we can create the custom directives for your application. So this will be covered. Then decorators. So what are the decorators? So for sending the data from one component to another component, that means one page to another page, we can use the different decorators. So at the rate input, at the rate output, at the rate view, child or view children, then at the rate injectable, or that is a service. So when there is a parent and child communication, I want to send some data from parent to child component, then I can use the at the rate output in input decorator. Suppose when I have to send the data from chi- child component to parent component, then I can use the at the rate output decorator. So we can create the instance of child component in parent component with the help of view child or view children decorator and injectable. We can easily inject that service in any component. This can be used or with the help of at that injectable decorators. So we'll cover this all the decorators in detail. Then there are two types of forms. So every applications it requires the form. We have if we have to take the some information from user, then we require the forms. So Angular supports the two types of forms: template driven forms and reactive forms. Okay, so these two forms can be we will cover in detail. Then CURD operation. What is a CURD operation? C for create, U for update, R for read, D for delete. Suppose CURD operation with HTTP client module. Suppose I want to send some data from client to server and get the response from server. We will create the CURD operation. So this is an important thing we will discuss in detail with the help of HTTP client module. So create, update, read, and delete. Then we will see observables and promises in detail. What are the observables? What are the promises? Then routing and navigation with route guards. So what is the routing for each and every Angular application or web applications? We require the routing. So we will add some links. When user clicks on that link, that page will be redirected to that particular web page. So same thing is available in Angular. So for this, we will create the routing. Now, what are the route guards? So route guards are nothing but suppose I have logged in with my credentials. So I am a valid user, but whether we have to check whether this user can be use or access that different links or not. Suppose the application is divided into three parts. Admin is there, then customer is there, and then suppose super admin is there. So suppose I logged in with the customer's access, then I cannot access the admin panel or super admin panel. So with the help of the different route guards, we can check these at client side only. So in .NET or Java, we have to send this request to the server. Then server will check whether this user is valid or not to access or access that link or not, and then it will redirect that link to that respective web page, or it will show the unauthorized user. So here it is a round trip action between client and server, but this can be avoided with the help of route guards in Angular 2 plus. Then we already discussed the lazy loading. Then change detection strategies. Two change detection strategies are there on push and default. Then built-in pipes and custom pipes. In Angular JS, there are filters, but in Angular 2 plus, there is a pipes. Then animation, we also will create some animations in Angular. Then we can write the unit test cases for your application with the help of Jasmine and Karma. Jasmine is a framework, whereas Karma is a runner. So for Jasmine unit test cases, we need the Karma as a runner to run that unit test cases. We require the Karma for running that unit test cases. Then lastly, we will deploy this Angular application to the server. So deployment of Angular application. So suppose this is Angular syllabus, and if you want to do the min stack course. Min stack means MongoDB, Express.js, AngularJS, and Node.js. So min means it is a full stack course, we can say. So you can work as a backend or a front-end developer in any organization. So if you want to do the min stack course, so the syllabus is available on the Radical Technologies website. So you can go through it. Okay. So then so how this sessions pattern will be? So 20% of theoretical part and 80% of live demonstration. So I will create the demos on my machine. You have to create the demos on your machines. So it will be a 20/80 pattern. 20 will be theoretical part, 80 will be a live demonstration. So how this feature, or how these decorators, how these data binding techniques can be used in your application. So we will discuss each and every topic with live demonstration. Okay, so theoretical part will be less, and actual demonstration or live demonstration will be greater. So 20% theoretical part and 80% of live demonstration. So what is the future? So when you complete this course, so what is the future for Angular or MinStack? So for Angular, every 6 months they are providing new versions. For day-to-day basis, they are releasing thousands of files. So good scope for front-end technologies with Angular. And if you are doing the MinStack course, so you can work as a front-end as well as a back-end developer. So in MinStack, we will cover the MongoDB, which can be used for the storing the data. Then Express.js, so this can be used as a middleware for Angular and Node.js. So Angular is a client-side language, whereas Node.js is a server-side language. So for connecting the Angular and Node, we require the Express.js. So it can be used as a middleware, and storing the data. We will use the MongoDB. So M for MongoDB, E for Express, A for Angular, and N for Node. So with this full package, you can work as a backend developer as well as a front end developer. So opportunities will be added or enhanced with the MinStack course. Okay. Then what are the similar competitors of Angular or MinStack? That is a React.js, then MunStack, that is a MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js, and Vue.js. But Vue.js is used in small scale applications, or in this MinStack or MunStack, MongoDB, or sorry, AngularJS or React can be used in the enterprises applications. So really the competitor of Angular is a React.js now. Okay. Then what will be the assignments and projects? So for each and every concept, I will provide some assignments. You have to do these assignments in your machine if you are facing any issues. So we will discuss in the next session. So assignments will be given for each and every topic, and project guidance will be provided. So as I said, so if you have any idea, if you want to create any project, so guidance will be provided. So but here for that projects, so it is not any specific time bound for it. Will be taken care for 2 months or 1 month or 15 days. Yeah, you have to create your own projects and what you have required the guidance. So I will provide all the guidances for that project. Then one more thing I have to add over here. So when at the time of discussion of any topics, so we will discuss the interview questions as well. So what interview questions will be come on this particular topic? So interview questions and answers, we will cover this as in the while we are discussing that particular topic. And at the end of the session, so I will provide all the interview questions and answers which are having with me. So I will provide all these questions and answers to you. And if I am having any uh, opportunities, or if I will get any opportunities, I will provide these opportunities to as well. Also, from radical technologies, also you will get some interview calls for for your interviews. So that will be also provided from the radical as well as from my side as well. Okay. So and about radical technology, yeah. So if you heard, you have already heard, it is a very well-known organization which is the providing the sessions on the latest technologies, and all the trainers from these radical technologies are working with different reputed organizations. That means so all the trainers are having near about 10 plus years of experience for delivering the sessions on that respective subjects or respective courses. So it is a very well-known organization available in the Pune. So, and with radical technology, so I'm working from last 6 years and delivering the sessions on Angular or React or specific to web technologies. So these are some details from my side. So if you have any questions, the floor is open for you. So I will stop sharing and we will discuss your questions and answers. Okay, so if you have any technical related questions to me, so we can ask. Yeah, Priyanka, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I'm not aware about. Actually, I know the basics of HTML and CSS, but I'm not aware of full details of HTML and CSS. So, are we completing HTML and CSS in this course as well, or only Angular?
Okay, so I'm not sure what you have discussed with the counselor, but yeah, this will be only for Angular or Min Stack. So, but if there are some related topics with HTML or CSS, so we'll discuss in details. But topic by topic or every topic is not covered in this project or in these sessions.
Because I
Angular.
have to start from scratch now because I'm
Yeah.
not aware of anything. So
Okay.
should I do this course or should I get from the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and
Yeah, so if you have to if you have to do the full course, that means then Angular, then HTML, then CSS, and then JavaScript as well. So you
Mm.
can we can cover this as a UI developer or UI role. Okay, so this course contains the full content of the UI developer role. So you have to cover the HTML, you have to cover the JavaScript, you have to cover that CSS, and then we will cover the Angular.
Okay.
So,
So
but
another course is designed for this or what?
yeah, we can cover like that, but it will be different course. So it is not the Angular course. We can say it is a UI course.
Okay, okay,
Okay. So, but yeah, the related topics, as I said, related topics of Angular, sorry, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This can be discussed while we are going through that particular topic.
okay. If I have not learned the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and directly I have started the Angular JS course, then I'll not get the whole points, right? I have
Yes.
first of all covered JavaScript and other things.
Yes, because what happened here? Suppose when we are we are discussing any topic in the session or in the class or in the so at that time, so I'm discussing some or I'm saying some things, and if you are not aware of that, so you will not easily understand that concept, right? So HTML is should be there. Then without HTML and CSS, there is no use of this Angular course, right? If you are not
Yeah,
aware of
yeah, yeah.
HTML and CSS and just directly you are doing the Angular, then this is there is no any use of this course, Angular course, I will
Okay,
say.
okay, okay.
Okay, so because for UI development or UI developer, you should know the basics of uh, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then and then only you can easily understand the Angular. And if you go with the React, so it is React is not very easy to understand because it is a purely JavaScript.
Okay.
It is a pure JavaScript. So we have to write the code in JavaScript only. But in
Mm.
here in Angular, we can write the code in the TypeScript. So it is related to the .NET or Java, we can say object-oriented languages. But
Okay.
in React, it is a very difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you have any technical questions, we can discuss, or you can talk with for any other questions. You can talk with the counselor.
No, sir. No. No.
Okay. Priyanka, Soumya, do you have any questions for me?
No, no, no. No technical question.
Now, no.
Okay, sure. No problem. Yeah, thanks Priyanka, thanks Soumya, thanks Saksham for joining the call. Yeah, so I will drop off. If you have any queries, you can connect with me or counselor. Okay, technical
Yeah.
for technical questions, I am here. For other questions, the counselor is here. So if you don't have any technical questions, I will drop off. You can discuss with her.
Sandeep, just a second.
Yeah,
Uh, the UI course is only for front end, right? And full stack development course is with front end and back end.
yes, it is a min stack. MongoDB, Express.js, then
For
And
only for front end development, what all techniques should I cover?
for only for front end, you have to
Mm.
cover HTML, then CSS, then
Mm.
JavaScript, and then any Angular or React. But Angular is not very easy. You can understand. Yeah, you can go with the Angular.
Okay. I
So
can go with the Angular.
yes, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Angular. This will be
Okay.
sufficient for.
And you are saying Angular JS is not easy.
No, no, sorry, React JS. I will say React.
React JS is easy or Angular JS is easy?
Angular is easy than
Okay.
React. If you have any prior experience with JavaScript, then React is easy than Angular. But if you
No,
are
I do
no,
not
no,
have
no,
any.
no. That's the thing. If you don't have any prior experience with JavaScript, then Angular is easy.
Okay.
For switching the job, yeah, you can definitely go with Angular. And if you are interested to work with the backend, front end as well as backend developer, then you can go with the full stack course, that is a min stack, MongoDB, Express.js, AngularJS, and Node.js. AngularJS is nothing but the Angular only. We are not covering the AngularJS 1.x. We will start with Angular 2 plus, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't have any technical questions, I will drop up. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.